what's he, 6'3"?
6'4".
One side over there for, was it Thanksgiving or Christmas that I had my knee replaced. I was over there and I thought his feet were 11s big.
Yeah.
And I could see him moving around. I don't want to hit my foot, and I kept moving away from him.
Yeah, any last words that for the interview, or how's
War's not fun. You keep out of as many wars as you can. Don't be a braggart like some of the guys, because it's not fun. I don't know if I can tell you any other stories.
Well, any stories work?
Well, one time they cornered Jimmy Cagney from the movies, and he was going to dedicate a room in a kitchen area. What do they call them? Anyway, you had all the cooking facilities in here. Then you'd have spare rooms where they could start things. So they opened up an enlisted man's bar. They wouldn't give it hard liquor, but we managed to find it. So he came in there and he opened up, and they'd asked me to, because they've always wanted me to participate in the poker games and the dice roll. And I said, I don't know much of it, and I'm a Scotchman, and I want to keep the money I have, and I'm going to do it that way, so I'll watch it. So after Caddy opened up our listed men's bar, which was only beer, they'd asked me, hey Brownie, why don't you go and get us some beer? I said, what? Why don't you take the coal bucket, dump the coal out, and go over and hose it out in the latrine, put it on your handlebar. Okay. I'm not going to drink that.
Yeah.
So I grabbed my canteen and put it on my belt, and another fellow said he'd go with me. So we got our canteens filled with beer before we put any beer into the coal bucket, because it had that snout on it, so you could pour the coal on into the open furnace in the barracks. So I did pretty good on that. And then one time the lead crew, he was a good guy. I gave some Texas too. Bob Ruth was his name, but they'd only fly when our squadron was going to lead the group. So they'd be over there longer than other people. And he said, a friend of mine works down on the motor pool. He got me a trip ticket, and I'll just sign my name with the left man. It'd be a little scribbling. So then what? We're going to go in town and go to the bar. We're going to buy us a barrel of beer. How in the hell are we going to get that back? That's what the trip tickets are for, Jim. Okay, so we got another guy. So we went to the bar. We got the barrel of beer and lugged it out and got it in the back of the Jeep. And I said, now how are we going to get it? About that time, how are we going to get past the empty at the gate? About that time, the bar owner says, just a minute, fellas, hold on. Since there was 3 of us, he brought 6 bottles of pre-war beer. That would be like gold. He brought that out, and I said, I've got an idea. Why don't we offer it to the MP at the gate? Maybe he'll go blind for a minute while we go by. Your idea, you tell him. So when we got to the gate, I picked up 2 bottles. He said, where the hell are you guys going? I said, well, what if we kept these 2 bottles of beer, you might forget your eyesight. We get it back. Hurry before I could get it back. So we did. And we got up, we got off the main road and tried to get back through some trees and all towards the squadron. We couldn't make it all the way there, but we got within a few hundred feet. So, okay, let's unload it, and we did unload it. everything was plugged in, so we just rolled it. Now that excites it. It's going to be spraying over everything. But they gave us a plug and a socket or a faucet to put in. So before you set it up on the barracks on one of the bed frames, we let it sit overnight until the next day. We take out the plug and put the spigot in. Okay, then we pick it up and set it on instead of a full mattress, the British had this thing of 3 biscuits, they called them. And they were square, and they were about that thick, and they had 3 of them. So they just opened up 2 of them, put it up there, put them on the low thing, so open it up and get the beer. That was fine, until I finally opened up the missile men's beer. So this, we had the Christmas over there. We had beer.
How'd the soldiers, how'd the men like get along with the locals? Was there a lot of interest?
Well, the British were sometimes very gullible. We had all these motor patrol guys, which were almost always colored, and they were telling them they were American Indians. We said, that's not the truth. And some guys would do that. And occasionally get in a fight with some of the colored boys. But they were doing their job.
For the, was the Air Corps integrated at that time or not? Yeah.
Well, no, not when I was flying, but shortly after they did get the Muskegee Institute, became the graduates from there got taught flying, and that set a very good record for themselves down in Italy, in the Mediterranean area.
And just to be clear, as a gunner, your job was to shoot at other fighter planes?
Enemy fighters.
Yeah, right. Not yours, of course. Yeah. And would you have to do that often? Like, was it common to take down planes during missions, or?
I didn't hit one,
Okay.
but I thought I was getting close to a couple.
Right.
But then they said, Brownie, how about you getting up and fly the chin turret? Bombardier didn't get that much training.
Mm-hmm.
So I flew a few missions on the chin turret. I sit on a stenographer's seat, and you hold the control off from the side, and it was computed. You just look through the sight and did it. You keep your target right, you'd get them. I think I came close. And one time with a bombardier, he did shoot the tail off of one of the enemy fighters. Of course, he spiraled and went off. But they were also ramming us. They did a fair amount of that, but not all the time. I think they had to have their guts up to be sure to get it. And as I said, Mel down the street, when he got shot down, he parachuted out, and then they captured him, of course. And some of the farmers started shooting us, and with pitchfork too. That was something. So they said, carry your guns. So we had a .45 and a holster underneath our armpit. I never had to use it because I never